Welcome back. I'm here to check out yet another GearIT guitar. I was pretty impressed with the last one, and so I thought I'd take a look at another. This is a Les Paul style GearIT Valley GI-155. I'll spare you the full unboxing experience because we did that before, so let's just jump right in and take a look. This one comes with the gig bag. So this one is a Les Paul type of shape. Of course, it's not an actual Les Paul. So here we are to take a look at the GearIT Valley series. Got a little sneak peek at the headstock. And here's the rest. I'm definitely digging this sort of like matte blue finish. Nice. So the knobs do appear to be quality. Three-way switch. Yeah, the pots turn nicely. Strings don't appear to be rusty or anything. Now, looking right out of the box, action appears to be probably 1.5 miles high. I'm gonna guess probably at least 3 millimeters. Yep, the action does come in right at 3 millimeters. There's plenty of room to adjust, but it looks like it could be the neck. Now, using the string to kind of gauge this, we've got probably an extra millimeter here. So the neck definitely has way too much relief. I don't normally make adjustments in these videos. I'm going to adjust the neck, take a look at the rest of it. I think I'll do that before I do the demo. Now, moving on, looking at the rest of the guitar, it looks like pretty nice finish and quality. The neck definitely has a satin finish. The tuners look low budget, but pretty decent. It does appear to have more or less a composite fingerboard, but it's got nice rounded stainless frets. The frets themselves are not sharp. I can feel the edges where they were set in, so that's interesting. It has dual humbuckers, master volume and tone controls. This has a push-pull coil split, so we can split these humbuckers to make more or less 2 single coils. So very cool. So just by popping this up, you can split the coils, push it back down for full humbucker effect. I do really like this finish. I don't see any flaws or issues right off the bat. There's a pretty noticeable gap between the neck and the body. I wouldn't consider that a pick holder. That's not ideal, but pretty common in budget guitars. Man, that action is super high. Yeah, so overall first impressions right out of the box, it looks really good. It comes with some really nice accessories, which we'll take a look at in just a minute. Overall, besides the neck definitely needing to be adjusted, this looks really good. I hope it sounds as good as it looks. Let's go over some of these accessories that are included. A clip-on tuner, polishing cloth, spare set of strings, I'm not sure the gauge, I'm guessing 9s, inexpensive strap, a decent cable, I mean functional, but kind of thin. And it's got multicolored picks, which I think is a pretty nice touch. We have the included amp, which we'll try out later. It looks pretty similar, but probably not identical to the previous one. Once I adjust the neck, I'm really looking forward to tuning it up and seeing how it sounds, because if this even sounds close to as good as it looks, I'm definitely going to be happy with this purchase. This thing, it's so far so good. In terms of the neck, it was manufactured overseas, boxed up and shipped. It's pretty normal, especially in the winter, for guitars to need adjustment once they arrive. It's kind of unfortunate though, because if you are a new player and you purchase this, chances are you might have to pay someone or find a good friend to help adjust it for you, because that's not something that's super easy to do. Hopefully you know someone that can do it for free, or find a guitar shop that'll do it for a good price. I mean, if everything else checks out, I would not send this back. This does need pretty significant adjustment on the neck. I'm probably gonna do it over the course of 2 days. And I'll see you soon when it's time to hear this in action. I'm back. So I spent some time going through this GearIT. I adjusted the neck, kind of set it up very, very slightly. I adjusted the string height as well, because the treble side was kind of oddly high in relation to the bass side. Using a little flathead screwdriver, I just turned this a few times, got it so that it is 1.75 action at the 12th on each side. The neck adjustment did affect the action. Now, normally You don't use neck specifically to adjust action. Those are two different things, but they do relate to each other. So I did a mini setup, not a full setup. I didn't do the intonation or anything. I wanted to show you what this is like out of the box because GearIT, kind of proved themselves on the last guitar. I thought it would be worthwhile to make some adjustments on this just to get the most out of it. It's not holding tune amazingly. I've only played it a little bit. The nut, I think, is a big part of that. Let's just hear it, then I'm gonna tune it up, then we're gonna play it. I think this would also be improved pretty greatly with a fresh set of strings. Nut lube, a fresh set of strings. Yeah. When else can you say nut lube and get away with it? So if you are finding any value in this video whatsoever, please do me a favor, subscribe, hit the like button, throw a comment down below. I definitely appreciate it. It helps me do more reviews like this. So I'm looking forward to seeing whatever comment you have to make. Thank you very much. Play it a little bit acoustically, keeping in mind it's not holding tune super well. Nice resonance. Nice sustain as well. All right. This one has a switch on the back, whereas the last GearIT amp, the power was built into the volume. Humbucker, clean. Little tone adjustment on the guitar. Man, super low output. I'm just gonna crank it up all the way. These things are so quiet. From the headstock to the ass end of this guitar. The tuners are pretty decent. They seem to do the job. They're pretty smooth. The nut, however, I'd say it should be replaced. It looks cool, it's black, but the nut was cut kind of high and it seems to be binding. But yeah, I would totally try lubing this up and lowering the slots a little bit, which would take some filing. The adjustments are making a pretty big difference in terms of playability. It's not holding tune super well. So if working on the nut doesn't work, I would eventually replace these tuners. I'm thinking this would still benefit quite a bit from that. So stay tuned for my 5-word review. At least, if you get it for a kid, at least it's not going to shake the whole house. We've got the neck position. Getting a little buzzing now. The guitar's been sitting for a few days, so it might need a little further adjustment. This one has the push-pull on the volume, which I don't totally love. It just kind of gets in the way more, I think. I'd rather it be on the tone, but whatever. Can we just pause and acknowledge how nice this color looks? I really like this matte blue. The single volume, single tone is a nice feature. I like this layout. I think it's also good for beginners. Let's put it in the good old rhythm position, the neck pickup. Yes, we did hear it so far in the included amp, but I wanted to also play it just a little bit through this orange amp, just so we can hear the guitar itself through something a little bit bigger. I did discover a few things that I didn't cover in the last part of the video. The coil split is designed to only work in the neck position. It is not connected whatsoever to the bridge. You'll only get a change there when you have that neck position on. I did also run into something not great. The screws on tuners here that kind of keep them in place, keep them from twisting, those actually, a lot of them were stripped, meaning the wood that they're anchored into was stripped. That doesn't mean that every guitar from them will be like that. And in this case, it's actually not causing any issues. I assume it's because it was machine assembled or someone used a powered drill to put them in, and they just over tightened it, stripped out the wood a little bit. But it's something to be aware of if you ever upgrade the tuners. You'll probably want to put a drop of wood glue, or you'll want to use screws that have a little bit more aggressive threads if they happen to when you upgrade those tuners. I also didn't point out, I went through and tightened all of the nuts here on the tuners. All of the nuts except maybe one were loose. Right away caused tuning stability issues. That's an easy fix with a 10mm wrench. You just go through, tighten these. It's easier with the strings loosened so you can get the wrench in there. That will make a big improvement if you get a guitar like that. Now I just want to ask a quick favor. If you find any value in this, please consider liking and subscribing, and comments are excellent too. All right, I'm not the biggest fan of these tuners. They felt pretty good at first, but I would definitely upgrade these. It would be worth the investment to put a $30 or $40 set of tuners, even locking tuners on here. A lot of locking tuners tend to also be 18:1 ratio and higher quality. It was a little tricky to get this in tune, and I have a feeling it's not perfect. So this is what I mean when I talk about the high nut and the high frets. So listen. So I'm just pushing a little bit harder on the frets, and as I do that, so just watch carefully, it pulls the pitch pretty severely. I mean, that can happen in general, but it's much more likely to happen, and the guitar is much more sensitive to it in this situation, as we've talked about. So we've got the high nut, we've got the high frets, we've got less than great quality strings. Split. So I mean, the humbucker holds up okay. I mean, especially for a beginner, I think this is good. Would you want to perform with it? Probably not. These tuners are not good. I think the more I use them, the worse they get. They feel really sloppy. They're hardly getting this into tune. Yeah, I mean, okay. I know it sounds like I'm saying a lot of negatives, but let me just kind of sum this up. Do I think this kit is pretty nice? Yes. Do I love the look of this? Yes. My 5-word review for this GearIT guitar bundle is pretty solid, but not perfect. And I think that sums it up pretty nicely. I think the accessories are good. I think with a little work and maybe an upgrade or two, this can be really, really fantastic. I don't think that should stop someone from getting this bundle, because weighing some of the other options out there, I think this is one of the better options. That finish on the body looks killer. I would be proud to have this, to bring it to school or to show my friends if I were in high school. I do think it's worth the money. I think they have some really awesome deals on these. So tune in next time, and we've got another guitar for you or guitar related stuff. Check it out.